Hi, my name is Zach Zerndt. I work for Concrete Construction Magazine, and I'm here to interview Mike Tholen of American Concrete Institute about the new books. So first, we're going to start with the Concrete Fundamentals book.
Okay.
Can you just go ahead and tell me about the contents of the book?
Yeah, the Concrete Fundamentals book is really just good basic information for someone starting off or that's been in the concrete industry a while. It's about the materials, the mixtures, the mixture proportioning, curing, testing, and it just kind of follows the whole life of the concrete project up to the final quality control. Um, and it's really geared towards the craftsman. So the person out there finishing the concrete, placing walls, that sort of information. So it's written at a level that's easy to understand. We've added lots of graphics to this new edition to make it a more appealing book because the industry has been kind of going through a lull the last few years, starting to come back. But a lot of the craftsmen, who are a very important part of the industry, have left, and we're starting to see new people coming in. We're having to grab people to work on projects that haven't worked with concrete much before. So this will give a good introduction, get them started off on the right foot with some good basic concrete information.
Great. And so, yeah, how would this be a useful training resource for employees and employers?
Well, it's primarily geared towards those craftsmen. So it can obviously be used for a concrete contractor trying to get people up to speed on the projects that they're working on. But because it's written at such a basic level, it also appeals to a broader range of people who are sort of peripherally involved with the concrete industry. For example, we have a lot of people here at the World of Concrete that are supplying materials and equipment to the concrete industry. Well, their salesman may have never placed concrete or even been on a project where they're placing concrete. So it gives them an introduction to what their customers see, what's important to them, what they're going through, so they can um, better market to their customers. Even today, engineers in college don't get a whole lot of concrete materials information, just that basic information. So even a young or inexperienced engineer would gain a lot from the publication.
Great. And then kind of off of that, but why has the ACI decided to revive a book that has basically gone out of print?
Well, the previous edition of this document was, I believe the last time it was updated was about 20 years ago.
Right.
Now, the fundamentals of concrete don't change a whole lot. It's not, lightning speed changes, but what we've done with this document, because it had been um, basically rewritten or from about 20 years ago, we added lots of graphics, like I mentioned before, to make it a more appealing document. And then there had been some significant changes in the industry. One that sticks out, for example, is the much more prevalent use of supplementary cementitious materials, the fly ash and slag cement that really weren't used so much 20 years ago. There are also new admixtures that have come out, changes a little bit in the testing that we've done. Self-consolidating concrete wasn't really talked about much when that publication was last revised. And it actually, the genesis of revising that document came out of our experience here at the World of Concrete last year in our bookstore. Our marketing people were noticing that people were looking for a nice, inexpensive, good book about the basics of concrete.
Great.
So we decided to try and get that done by World of Concrete this year.
Great. Well, why don't we switch gears to the placing and finishing decorative
Okay.
concrete book? So can you just go ahead and tell me about the content of that book and also the need, why the ACI felt the need to produce that book as well?
Okay. Our placing and finishing decorative concrete flatwork document. The contents of it basically follow a concrete project, a decorative project from beginning to end. It goes into layout, some of the soil preparation. It gets into formwork and placing techniques. It talks about several different surface finishing types like seeded aggregates and surface retarders that are used to expose aggregate, stamping, and then it goes into the curing, and it also has some safety aspects in there as well for some of the materials that are unique to decorative concrete. It also includes a description of some of the specialty tools that you'll use in placing decorative concrete. Um, the main reason the document was put together is ACI is planning a certification for decorative concrete finishers. So that certification will include a written exam, and we needed a reference material to base that exam on. So the material in this book is what the people getting their decorative concrete certification will be expected to know for that written exam portion.
Okay, great. So then, going off that, can you tell me a little bit about the ACI University?
ACI University is our online learning portal. It has electronic courses. That's where we house all of our webinars. We record those so you can go back and see those later. We have online learning courses. We have some that are as simple as just studying some of the material and taking an exam. Others are more interactive, where you match up definitions with the terms and those sorts of things. But that's our electronic portal to all of our online learning courses.
Great. And then, can you tell me about the photo samples in the back of the book?
Oh yes, in the back of the Decorative Concrete Flatware Finisher book, there are samples. There's 2 different chapters. One is samples of different finishes that you can get using those decorative techniques that I mentioned, either the seeded aggregate versus the surface retarder and spraying it off the next day. Also some stamping techniques, and it gives sort of the range of the look that you can achieve with those different techniques. Then the last chapter of the book is just a sample of different decorative concrete projects that have been put in place, and there are brief descriptions of them so people can know what sort of surface treatments were used and have some ideas to play off with for customers. And
Great.
work.
Do you think there's anything else important you'd like to add about either of the books in general or anything?
I think we covered most of it. The books are a little bit unique. They're part of a series that are dedicated to the Concrete Craftsmen, our E703 Concrete Construction Practices Committee puts those together. ACI tends to be known more for the really in-depth technical information, but these are that same good information, but really written for a different audience. That's what makes these unique, and because of that, they're also used. There are a couple other ones in the series that are used for certification programs as well.
All right, great. Well, I appreciate your time, Mike, and have a great time at World of Concrete.
Okay, thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
Thank you.